Goodbye.
From the Foster House 2 in Belle Vernon, Pennsylvania. I'm Mon Valley Independent Sports Editor Jeremy Slew. To my right, staff writer Jose Negron.
That's my name.
That's original.
Yep.
Okay. Welcome to the Foster House. We're here with some of the best basketball players in the Mon Valley, Jose.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And we are going to unleash our Super 6 basketball all-stars. You excited?
I am excited. We have some players, some coaches here in attendance, and we're excited to get to interview some of our award winners and announce our Super 6 All-Stars and the best of the rest.
Some of the award winners' parents are a little bit nervous about the interviews.
Oh.
I learned that.
Oh, that's good. I guess.
The interviewees aren't so nervous, but
No.
Should be exciting.
Yes, absolutely.
We have our award winners here. We'll be talking to all of them, except two are actually in the middle of a game. Jose. I don't know what we have an update of that game.
I don't know. Last I saw it was a 5-point game with a little over 5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter.
We have our Sarah Catholic Eagles are currently playing Farrell in the PIAA round of 16.
Freelance writer Jeremy Tepper is on scene, so we'll get you guys an update at some point here.
While we hang out at the bar and goof off a little bit.
Absolutely.
And eat some good food. First off, let's just explain the Super 6. We made a little change this year.
Yeah.
The way we unleashed our teams, we have the top 6, the Super 6, so to speak, boys and girls. But we eliminated second team and third team.
Yeah.
You want to give them?
Yeah, I mean, second and third team, feel like those players are all very deserving of being on the squad, and we kind of didn't want to, differentiate from second and third. So we decided to refer to it as the best of the rest, and all very deserving, honorees here on these teams. So we're excited to unveil them.
And we have to give a shout out to all the coaches. I know we have a couple here. Charleroi coach Bill Wilts is here. The McKee Sport boys and girls coach Kevin Kovach, Eric Smith are here.
Phil Pergola from Ringgold.
Yep, Phil Pergola is here. The biggest thing is we have to thank them for all their help all year, being cooperative with us. And helping to get us some stats, and when we need stats, they're always helpful with that.
Absolutely.
I will give a shout out though to the coaches who post their stats on Max Reps.
Yes, makes our job much easier in trying to determine, from a statistic standpoint, who deserves to be on these teams. Definitely helps us make it easier for us.
But when discussing the teams, you said you were telling our girls coach of the year, who's here, Ronnie Drennan, about how when we came up with the teams, I think our top 18 were all, where they were exactly the same.
Yeah.
So we're pretty much in an agreement who these honorees are. So I think we should just get started.
Yeah. I believe we're going to go to a commercial break here, right?
Quick commercial.
And then we're going to
be
have
with our boys breakthrough player of the year.
One of them.
One of two.
One of two,
because both very deserving. So we'll be right back with Charleroi Zach Usher.
The Mon Valley e-edition has arrived. Download the new MVI newspaper app today from your device's app store. Stay connected with your hometown news, at home or on the go. We got you covered. What happens here matters here. Subscribe to our e-edition today at www.monvalleyindependent.com. The Mon Valley Independent, your local Mon Valley news source.
All right, we're back with Charleroi Zach Usher. Zach, congratulations on being our Breakthrough Player of the Year.
Yep.
One of two. You and Luke Weibert, very deserving. We kind of joke with Coach Wiltz a little bit. Coming in as a sophomore and being on the varsity team this year, he didn't know quite what he was going to get from you as a point guard. What was your feeling going in this first year as a member of the varsity team?
I had a ton of confidence. Started over the summer with all the workouts with Coach and some other players on the team in AAU.
Right.
Being able to play with, guys like Lee and Marty Foster and Joey Caruso and Legend, what was kind of the best part, about playing with those guys and kind of the season that you guys had getting back to the playoffs?
The competition we brought every day to practice for each other. It was always a challenge.
Right.
Nothing came easy, and we always had to work for everything we got.
Looking back on the season as a whole, what were some of the highlights for you? I know, we talked to Coach a little bit, and you just come storming out of the gate. I think the first couple games, you averaged about 12 points. Showed no fear of being a varsity starter in your first year. What's kind of been the highlight for you of this past season?
Well, I'd say the tough games where we were battling for first in the conference. We loved the big games, and we wanted to play the big teams every week, every day.
Being the point guard, what's it like to be able to have that responsibility on a team like this? Only being a sophomore, but Coach Wiltz has obviously shown a lot of faith in you. To be able to have that opportunity and have that responsibility. What's it like to be able to have that?
It feels amazing. They have all the confidence in the world in me, and that's all I need.
How much going forward now? Here you are in your first year. You finish about 11, 12 points per game, but you have a core coming back for next year, and you're going in probably next year as a starting point guard, something you probably weren't sure of this year. How much are you already looking forward to next season, getting back on the court with these guys?
I can't wait. We already have plans. We always go up to the YMCA and play together. We just want to get that playoff loss streak off our back.
How much does it help that you guys are such a tight-knit group that you play? I know you're playing baseball now and playing with some of the same players you play with on a basketball court. How much does being such good friends help you when you're playing on the court?
It's just amazing. When we're all together, just enjoy ourselves, it builds great chemistry.
What's kind of the off-season plan for you? What are you going to be doing, throughout the next, few months to try to, get ready for next season?
A bunch of AAU and hitting all the gyms around here.
Gotcha.
Camp.
Are you going to be playing in the Greb League? Is that
Yes,
part
I'll
of it
be
too?
back in the Greb League.
Gotcha.
How much did that help you going into this season? We even talked to Naz Victoria, one of the coaches in the Greb League, and nobody really remembered you. You were kind of under the radar, even in the Greb League, but then you burst onto the scene, for your first season.
It taught me a lot. It showed me how to play with the older kids, some that are bigger, stronger.
Does it help playing such good competition? I know, because there were a lot of studs in that league.
Yes, best kids around here.
All right, anything else, Jose, for Zach?
Yeah, I think, obviously a great season for you, and, we appreciate you coming out and very deserving of this award.
Thank you for choosing
All right, congratulations, Zach, and you get to take that plaque home, keep it for safekeeping. We'll be right back with our other Breakthrough Athlete of the Year, Luke Weibert from Ringgold.
Elect John Lorenzo for Commissioner of Ross Draver Township. John has decided to run for Ross Draver Township Commissioner because he loves the community and is passionate about the township. John will represent the residents of Ross Draver Township with respect, accountability, integrity, and confidence. John Lorenzo, a voice for the people.
We are back here from Foster House 2 in Bell Vernon with our other Breakthrough Athlete of the Year, Luke Weibert from Ringgold. Luke, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Yeah, obviously coming into this season, I know last year was tough with injuries and things like that, not just you, but some of your other teammates as well. But to be able to have the year that you had, I mean, almost averaging a double-double, what was it like to be able to be a part of a team that went from, 3 wins last year to the WPIAL playoffs and the state playoffs?
Well, it felt really good. We all worked hard, and we all knew that we had to come out stronger because we all knew that we were coming back and we were going to be pretty strong. We all just had to work hard. We all wanted the chance to compete like we did, and it's really nice to do that. But since we lost in the state playoffs, we got that mentality that we need to work harder for next year,
right?
To get better. So we're all starting to work harder for it.
You're one of the you're like the dream child of the Greb League. I mean, we watched you when you entered as a freshman, and then up until this point, and I know Coach Pergola has talked about the amount of growth you've had since then. Just take us from that freshman year when you were, you obviously weren't as big, not as strong, but to the year you had this year.
So whenever I was playing before, I was real timid. I was a lot smaller than everyone, and I just wasn't really playing the way that I really wanted to. And then as the years went on and I got to play with the high school kids, kind of learned what to do and got some mentoring from a couple of the big men like Dakota Browning.
Okay.
He helped me a lot. And going up to the Y, other people like Jake Mayer, they all helped me out.
Being able to play, obviously the competition that you guys played this year, being in the section that you guys were in with Uniontown and Bell Vernon, Elizabeth Forward, what was it like to be able to play that tough competition and play, obviously we have a lot of talent here and, on Bell Vernon and EF, and, teams like that, but to be able to play that tough competition, I mean, how did that help you throughout the year to kind of gain some confidence and things like that?
It helped a lot, like the confidence, but it's just the kids I've been playing with my whole life,
Yeah.
so I know most of them as close friends, so all it is just basketball, and we all just get along playing it.
Did you kind of expect to have the year that you had? I mean, even Coach Pergola said it was kind of unknown because you guys are still a pretty young team with a couple seniors mixed in. But, I mean, did you kind of expect the success you've had personally and that the team had this year?
Well, at the beginning of the season, I wasn't very confident that I was going to have a good year after the first couple games of the tip-off tournament. I wasn't doing that good, but then my coaches helped me readjust and do what I needed to do to score a lot and grab a lot more rebounds.
How much time do you put in working on them post moves?
A lot. I go to the Y pretty much every day. I was there before this.
And you're deceivingly quick when you get that ball down there. I mean, how much has your footwork improved from, like we said, when you were younger up to this point?
It improved a lot. My old high school coach, Shane Burdovich, he helped me with a lot. He emphasized footwork, and my mom did too, about jumping rope and just trying to get my feet quicker because it helps a lot. It's more than just being strong.
Pretty much got the same group coming back next year. I think Jaden Taylor's really the only senior starter that you guys lose. Yeah. But, having you back, having, Demetrius Butler, Chris Pecan, to be able to have this group back, I mean, are you a motivated bunch going into next year? What are kind of the expectations going into next year, knowing that, you have the experience of playing in the WPIAL playoffs, playing in the state playoffs?
We're all very motivated. We've all been in the gym since we lost in the state playoffs, and we're all working out really hard. We're getting ready for next year, and we're all hoping for a better year.
Throughout the season, I mean, you guys started off like 10-2, and like you said, you were rolling a little bit, and then you admitted there were some times late in the year you didn't play as well as you wanted to. The team kind of went into a little bit of swoon, and then you boost back up. You get a couple playoff wins. You go to the state playoffs, and kind of took one on the chin there. How much does that help you as a learning experience heading into next year?
Well, it helps a lot. It shows that we're not that great of a team as we seem. There's a lot of other teams that are better than us, and it kind of humbles ourselves. We know that we have to work really hard to be better than those really good teams.
A lot of coaches there on the sideline for you guys this year. Not just Coach Pergola, but how have they all really helped you guys? I mean, is it a benefit to have that much basketball knowledge on the bench with you guys?
It's amazing. They're a great bunch of coaches. They love everyone. They're all really personal. They're the best coaches I could ask for.
All right. Well, Luke, thanks for coming down. We appreciate it. Get something good to eat. You get to take that plaque home. And congratulations.
All right, thank you.
All right, we'll be right back with our Defensive Player of the Year, Thomas Wyatt from McKeesport High School.
The Mon Valley e-edition has arrived. Download the new MVI newspaper app today from your device's app store. Stay connected with your hometown news, at home or on the go. We got you covered. What happens here matters here. Subscribe to our e-edition today at www.monvalleyindependent.com. The Mon Valley Independent, your local Mon Valley news source.
Welcome back to the Foster House 2 in Bell Vernon. We're now joined by McKeesport High School's Thomas Wyatt, our Defensive Player of the Year. Thomas, congratulations. Thanks for coming down.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
First thing I want to ask you about, a lot of times, people look at the stats. It's all about the points, all about the rebounds. But when I talk to Coach about the way you play defense, how important and how much of your game is playing defense, and what's it like getting to play defense in your section with so many talented teams?
It's real fun, actually. It really is, and I basically base my game around defense. I really do. Starting off the game, I try to get basically turned into the game and to start off defense basically every game. But we do have a lot of talent in our section.
Right.
How has Coach Kovac really helped you, develop your defensive game, even more throughout the year?
Working harder and then actually going against kids like Diamante Diggs in practice.
Right.
Like one-on-one situations, really working like that.
Coach would tell us how, every game he knew when you guys are playing a stud, that was your guy. How much does that motivate you, knowing he has that much faith in you to put you up against another team's best player?
It pushes me a lot, it really does, and I actually like that, chip on my shoulder going into the game, actually. I like challenging and being challenged.
Going into next season and kind of the preparation, how do you kind of, your off-season plan, workouts, things like that, what are you kind of going to be doing going into next season to, further your game and improve your game?
I mean, I'm actually going to school for football
Okay.
in Citadel, so I've been working and lifting in the off-season. I'm going to work to do that and a lot of speed and agility.
Right.
Work on that.
Gotcha.
How much does playing basketball help you get ready for, obviously you're a Division I athlete in football. How much does that help you prepare for football playing basketball?
Getting in shape, footwork, a lot of stuff like that really helps.
Kind of mentioned the competition that you play, being able to play Woodland Hills, being able to play Penn Hills, teams like that, going into the playoffs, how did that kind of help you guys, going into the postseason to be ready for, the competition that you're going to face there?
Playing them in the season really helped, and seeing our competition and how we matched up going into the playoffs gave us actually more confidence.
Just talk a little bit about, I know McKeesport, there's a lot of pride around the basketball program. I mean, there has been for years. You've had so many great athletes in all sports come out of there. How much does it mean to you to be a part of that and just, say you're a McKeesport Tiger?
I really love it. I love to be called a McKeesport Tiger. I take a lot of pride in that, and I basically wear it across my chest every day.
Going into your collegiate career, what any particular moment from this past season or your basketball career in general that kind of sticks out as your favorite?
Probably beating Woodland Hills the second time at home after they had beat us first. That was really good.
That's a game you wanted pretty bad.
Yeah, we really did.
Just the last thing we'll ask you, this is Coach Kovac's first year, kind of how did you guys make the transition from Coach Grayson, who, we know he was a little bit fiery, but you can tell Coach Kovac brings a whole other style on the sidelines. What was it like adjusting to him as a coach, and how do your teammates kind of rally around him in his first year?
It wasn't that hard to adjust at all. We really believed in him, so we just basically followed him, got up under his wing, and then went from there.
All right, and then so who we got? Obviously, a great season for you. Very deserving of this. Talking to Coach Kovac, he said you're one of the best on-ball defenders that he was able to coach. So very deserving of this award for sure.
Right. Thanks for coming down. Congratulations again, and good luck playing football down south.
Thank you.
All right, congratulations. Hold on until we get a commercial. All right, we'll be right back with our where are we going next? Coach of the Year with our boys' Coach of the Year. We're back live at the Foster House 2 in Bell Vernon, Pennsylvania. Jose, did you have your sandwich yet?
I have not. I'm gonna wait till after. Get to go.
Post game.
Yeah.
That's the same with me.
Yeah.
Okay. First, we're going to give it a quick update because this leads in perfectly to our player and our coach of the year.
Yep.
Unfortunately, Sarah Catholic's great season and postseason run has come to an end.
Yep.
They lost to Farrell. I mean, literally just in the last few minutes, the game ended. 70-64.
70-64. Jimmy Moon, of course, our player of the year, averaging 27, 14 rebounds a game. 35 points against Farrell tonight, but just wasn't enough. And a great season for the Eagles. Section title, get to the Whitfield title game. Nothing to be ashamed about at all.
Absolutely not. And like I said, that brings us into our Player of the Year award. Since they were playing tonight, producer extraordinaire Chad Corrado and I took a drive to McKeesport. Got to watch the last few minutes of practice yesterday, and I sat down with each Jimmy Moon and our Coach of the Year, Dustin Walder, to present them with their awards and do a quick interview. So we're going to check that out before we come back, and we will. I think at that point we unveil the Super Six.
Yep, we do. Let's go to Jeremy.
All right, we're here at Sarah Catholic High School with our 2018-2019 Player of the Year, Jimmy Moon. Congratulations, Jimmy.
Thank you.
Here's some hardware for you.
Thank you, sir.
One of the few teams that isn't done yet, hence we're recording this interview. How's it feel just your senior season to still be alive in the state playoffs and try to make a run to Hershey?
It's great, definitely, to extend this season since it's my last one here at the school. So I'm happy that we're still playing, and I'd love to keep it going.
Going back from last year into this year, how do you see you developed more as an all-around player?
Definitely added a lot more stuff to my game, especially like strength, added a lot more weight. Also just fixed my shot this off season too, so I added like some final touches that really helped me a lot this year.
You made this journey with Coach Walder when you were a younger player and a great group of seniors. How much has the senior leadership on your team helped you develop into the player you are and help the team develop into the team that it is now this year?
It's huge. I mean, we've been playing together for 4 years now. I mean, we've all played together on the freshman team, except for Khalil. He played varsity that year. But I mean, we all been together. I mean, even practice freshman year, we all been playing together. So we have like real good chemistry. We hold each other accountable, and I mean, we always do pretty well. So
one of the things I noticed this year from last year, you mentioned you put on a little weight. What's the training regimen for a player of the year like you? How much extra work do you put on, like when you're not on this court or with this team? Like, what do you do in the off season, or when you're not practicing here?
It's a pretty long day. I mean, I have to eat 4,000 calories a day to keep my weight. I lift 3 days a week. After my usual days, go lift, come here, then go to LA Fitness, do my own skill workout, and then go home, get to bed at a good time. So there's a lot of maintenance, keep taking care of my body, but I really enjoy it.
Along with you, we're going to talk to Coach Walder, who's our Coach of the Year this year. How has he helped you develop into the player you are now?
He's helped me a ton. I mean, he's gave me tons of advice for recruiting, tons of advice for the game. I wouldn't have been able to do without him.
Speaking of recruiting, you committed to Seton Hill already. What was it about Seton Hill that really attracted you and made you want to play there?
I like basically the culture. I like the school. It's a really good academic school, great program. Coach Saunders, he's a really good guy, so I just thought it was a great fit.
What if you have a hypothetical matchup against yourself? How do you stop you? I mean, you're averaging 27 points a game, like 15 rebounds. How would you try to stop you?
No, I don't even know. I don't even want to say, honestly.
Other than that, how's this run been in the playoffs? I know you guys lost your first game last year, and I know Coach talked about how disappointed you guys were, and especially losing the Whitfield championship game. Just how has this process been for you, like making the playoffs, winning that first game, overcoming a loss, and winning this first state playoff game last week?
I mean, it's definitely a challenge, especially after we flopped in the big stage. But, I mean, there's nothing you can do about it. It's in the past. We got to focus on the state games. So we still got, hopefully, a lot of games left, and we got to make the most of them.
How important was it not just winning that first state game and coming off of that loss, but just the amount of preparation you guys put in heading into that game, coming off of that loss?
It was definitely important. We got some new plays in just to expose their weaknesses, and I don't know. We put in a lot of different stuff just to counteract them and basically get our feet back under us after the tough loss.
Just real quick, since this show is going to air tomorrow, what do you look for from Farrell? I mean, you guys are going to be playing while we're broadcasting this interview, so I mean, what have you seen from them, and what are you looking forward to tomorrow night?
I know they're definitely a bigger team, which is exciting because we haven't played like anyone mine and Bernard's size all year, so that's definitely a perk. I mean, I love playing bigger guys, so I'm glad about that. And they're definitely a real athletic team, so it'll definitely be a good matchup.
How important is it? I mean, Coach just brought you all guys together and said, you know, this season's not over tomorrow. How important is it that he has that confidence in you and that you have that confidence in your team?
Oh, it's really important. I mean, we got to have confidence in ourselves, confidence in our abilities. It's a huge part of the game. I mean, if you don't have confidence, it's tough to win. So glad we have it.
All right. Well, congratulations on winning the Player of the Year. Thank you very much for joining us, and good luck tomorrow night.
All right. Thank you.
All right. We'll be right back with head coach Justin Waller, our 2019 Coach of the Year. All right, we're back with our head coach of the year, Sarah Catholic boys coach Justin Waller. Coach, congratulations.
Thank you.
Hang that on your wall. Just real quick, I just talked to Jimmy, and one of the things I asked him, what this journey has been like with this group of seniors for the last 3 years now.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, they were coming off a 4-win season when you took over. You doubled that. You made the playoffs last year, and here you are making a run, hopefully to Hershey, you know, next weekend. Just what's this process been like for you with these guys?
It's been a lot of fun. Watching these guys grow has meant a lot to me. I think I'm doing the right thing. They're really together. They really want to win, and I not hope, but I'm ready for them to keep going. And tomorrow is going to be a tough game, but I think we have the horses to get us to move on.
One of the things you mentioned to me earlier on was you didn't think even the games you won in the Whitfield playoffs that you haven't played a perfect playoff game yet. How hard was it? And I'm sure you had to do one of your better jobs of coaching, coming off a championship game loss and getting them ready for the state playoffs. Just talk about that process and what it was like for you.
We put in a lot of different sets to make them concentrate.
Right.
You know, last year, like I told you before, we didn't have that focus from that week off when we had to bye. So we did a lot of different things this year, and then I knew we had another week off, so we had to do something different, and I put in like different plays to counteract the zones that Penn's Manor was going to play, the zone that Farrell will play too. So the guys are a focused group right now, and looking forward to seeing what happens tomorrow.
You know, as a coach, how do you get them to focus? I mean, you have 6 seniors here. They don't want their last game to end. I'm sure that's in the back of their mind. If we lose a game, that's it. We're done. How do you pinpoint exactly what they need to do? Or is it more of what you get them to do that?
You got to ride them a little bit. So
you could do that. I've seen it.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes when they lose focus, Kenny and I are all over them. So you just have to make them aware of the situation and make them play, make them react, and that's what we did this week, and it paid off on Saturday. I thought we played one of our better games of the season, and yesterday was a little bit of lack of focus, and then the last 45 minutes to an hour of practice, we did what we wanted to do. We got a lot of stuff in for Farrell, so that's a testament to Kenny and I, and I think the boys will be ready.
One of the things I just asked Jimmy too, how do you stop him? How would you stop him? And how have you seen him develop from the time when you got here to now?
I would have did the same thing that Swickley did in the semis. He still ended up with like 25 and 19. They doubled him. They tried triple on him. It's just hard. It's hard to stop 6'9" when you're playing against 6'3", 6'4". So that's the same thing that's going to happen tomorrow. I'm sure they're going to devise some sort of game plan, but these guys tomorrow are going to be 6'3", 245, 6'4", 260. So they're going to have a little bit more weight to lean on Jimmy. So I'm sure they're going to beat him up like most teams have tried to. But he's been tough all season long, and he's averaging 30 and 19 in the playoffs right now, and he's just tough. It's tough to stop somebody, especially at this level.
One of the things we talked about is how this year these seniors, and specifically Khalil and Bernard, and even lately Chris, they've really picked up secondary scoring for you guys. How have you helped them understand, like, you can't just go into a game with 6'9"? You need the guys around him, and he gives you a centerpiece to build around, and they've really escalated their games for you guys.
Well, Chris, I always knew he was going to give me like 5 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, a couple steals, 1 or 2 turnovers, if that. But he's really picked up the pace. I mean, in Swickley game, it wasn't for him. I don't know if we'd move on.
Right.
He settled us down. He hit 2 or 3 threes in the first half. So I know I could count on him. Khalil needs to just get to the ball to the hole, and that's what we tried telling him. We had him refocus during the week of preparation for the PIA game, and I thought he had one of his better performances of the year. The way we moved the ball in that PIA game was fantastic, and I'm expecting the same thing tomorrow. We need Bernard to be just huge. He needs to get a double-double if we want to move on, and we told him that he needs to focus, he needs to stay out of all the nonsense, and just get ready to go. And it seems like today we did a good job of focusing on what we had to do on the plays that we were putting in. We put in a couple new things too, so we'll see how that works.
One of the things that's interesting, and I learned it firsthand going up to Edinburgh, in a different district you have different styles of play, different officiating, you have a longer ride. How do you prepare a team to prepare for those kind of things?
Well, we're going to eat on the way up. Just try to get some rest. I think we're getting a charter bus tomorrow, which we haven't had all year. So it's just something just so the guys got more space so they can relax and concentrate and think about how they're going to play this game.
Last but not least, I mean, just talk about what this group of seniors has meant to you, turning this program around, and what it means to you to be their coach and watch them grow as basketball players.
They're 6 fantastic kids, and I had 3 seniors last year and 6 this year who meant a great deal to the program. And these 6 are taking what the 3 did last year, and they took it to the next level. We didn't win the WIPUL. We're disappointed about that. We know we let something slip away from our hands, but we're still playing. We have this state run, and we're hoping to just keep, notching one win here at a time, not looking forward to it. But those 6 guys have taken the ball, and they rolled with it, and I'm very proud of them.
All right, Coach. Well, again, congratulations, and you'll be playing while we're broadcasting. We will be there, though. We have a guy there, and we'll be giving updates, and we'll be paying attention. So I appreciate it all the time.
No problem.
And you've been one of the most helpful coaches with us, and that means a lot to us. And we're not in it for our glory. We want to hype your kids. We want to hype your team, hype the school. So we appreciate everything you guys have done for us. And that's it. Good luck tomorrow.
I appreciate you guys as well.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, brother.
All right. We're going to send it back to the Foster House.
Okay, we're back live at the Foster House 2 in Belle Vernon, PA. And Jose, it's time to release the boys Super 6.
Right. This is what everybody's been waiting for. Got our Super 6 All-Stars, and then we got the best of the rest. I think we're going to do our Super 6 first.
Yeah. We'll unleash those first. We'll come back. We'll give a couple quick thoughts. And then we'll unleash the best of the rest.
Let's do it.
Hit it. not for long.
I love how they can see it.
I know. Can we have them cater the next? Okay, there you go, Jose. There's our Super 6 boys all-star team.
Yep.
Obviously, Player of the Year Jimmy Moon's in there, and Diamante Diggs from McKeesport, Malik Ramsey, Chris Peacock, Cam Newser, and Devin Whitlock.
Big game last night for
Big
Manessa.
game last night. Manessa Greyhounds, our last team in the state playoffs. They're the thread that's hanging on the basketball season for us.
Absolutely. And Devin, a huge game last night, 23 points, including the game winner with about 13 seconds left. Averaging a little under 17 points per game this year. I know he had 23 points in the Jamestown game, the first round of the state playoffs as well, and very deserving as a freshman to be on this team. And looking at the rest of it, I mean, anybody in particular that kind of stands out? I mean, obviously Jimmy Moon is going to be here, being our player of the year.
We have to highlight Malik Ramsey. It's a shame with the PIAA transfer rules that we didn't get to see him in a playoff setting for California. He averaged almost 28 points a game, right up there with Jimmy Moon. 2 out of the top 3 scorers in the WPIL were from right in our backyard, but unfortunately he was ineligible for the playoffs, so it would have been nice to see what he could do for California. And Chris Peacock, I think he really led Ringgold this year. He's Coach Phil Pergola said he's the leader on the floor as the point guard, and he everything ran through him. And he had free reign to make his own decisions and lead that team on the floor. And obviously, Cam Newser, I mean, just inside half court, he's going to shoot.
Right.
He's going to make them. And a couple big games late in the season, a couple 30-point games, and games that Bell Vernon needed to win.
And then Diamante Diggs averaged over 20 points per game this year. I know he had that big game against Woodland Hills where he set a school record of 42 points. We know how influential he's been for Kevin Kovac and the Tigers this year. So I don't think you can really argue any of these guys. I think they're well deserved.
I don't think you can. Some of the next group we're going to look at, the best of the rest, there might be some arguments, but I mean, I think we came up with a really solid group. Everybody played a key role on their teams. We have a couple of our award winners in there, but we'll get producer extraordinaire Chad to cue that up, and we'll take a look at those, and we'll come right back to discuss them. we're back at the Foster House. Jose, there's our best of the rest. Again, not many arguments there. All those guys really played a big role for their teams this year. Anybody stand out for you?
I think the one is a Bell Vernon area. Mitch Polott, big guy who I think averaged a double-double. It seemed like every game he was getting a double-double.
Right.
Him and Larry Calloway. I know Calloway, averaged I think a little under 17 points per game or so. But those guys really complimented Cam. They did a really good job. They started, I think, believing in Joe Salvino's system towards the end of the season,
right,
and started adjusting to to the way that he coaches. But very deserving for those guys to make it on here.
The one thing I noticed too, you mentioned Larry Calloway. I think early on in the season he settled for a lot of jump shots. But that Salvino system, that's not going to fly. And he really started to attack the basketball and really stood out. He was 17 points a game pretty much every game, and he gave Coach Salvino another reliable scorer, which is big in his system.
Right.
And the other one was Khalil Smith. We talked to Coach Walder about secondary scoring, and he finished with I think 16, 17 points per game, 15.3 I think we have on our notes. Anytime you have a player like Jimmy Moon, you have to put pieces around him, and he was a real big standout for Sarah Catholic this year.
Right, and he's one of 3 guys on this best of the rest squad that got over 1,000 points this year, and Justin Novak from Fraser and J.J. Green from Best Center, and then, of course, Jimmy Moon on our Super 6 team picked it up as well, but very deserving. And another guy, too, is Deshaun Howe from Monessen.
Right.
We saw it last night. I know he's been nursing a wrist injury, but 9 of his 15 points in the fourth quarter in last night's comeback win over Bishop Carroll really came up big as a senior. He said that he was just focused on making sure that wasn't his last game. He wanted to play another game, and he wants to win a state title for Monessen.
And this is the first time in a long time, too. I think I noticed on the notes here we have a lot of representatives in the Round Ball Classic, boys and girls. We'll talk about, but we mentioned Justin Novak from my alma mater, Fraser, and JJ Green. 50 points in a game this year. That's just ridiculous.
Right, and then you got Christian Moore from McKeesport.
Right.
I know
he's actually here. He's here tonight.
Shout out to Christian Moore, still here tonight. But Kevin Kovac had some great things to say about Christian, and it's gonna be a good opportunity for him to be able to play against some of the best players in the area at this event.
Right. And again, we have some of our award winners. Luke and Zach are both in there, both of our breakouts, and Joey Caruso from Charleroi. He really emerged as the top scoring threat for the Cougars this year, and that's something I'm sure will continue into next season for Charleroi.
Right.
So.
And then you got to give a shout out to Yox Jarrett Bache. We know what he's like on the baseball field, but he was big on the basketball court. 18.4 points per game this year for him, and Pat Filson for Elizabeth Ford. I know he was their leading scorer this year, and was a big difference maker. I don't think any of their starters had started before, so I know that they have a nice future. I don't think they lose anybody. Pat returning as well, so definitely deserving.
Yeah, and then that section just as a whole, Bell Vernon's bringing everybody back, Ringgold's bringing everybody back, Elizabeth Ford's bringing everybody back. So there's going to be some great battles to come. So that'll do it for the boys Super 6, and we're going to move on to the girls side, because that a lot of talent around here on the girls side of the court too.
Absolutely.
So we'll be right back. I think we're going to come back with our breakthrough player of the year, Lindsay Stever from Bell Vernon.
Yep, that's it.
Let's do it.
The Mon Valley e-edition has arrived. Download the new MVI newspaper app today from your device's app store. Stay connected with your hometown news, at home or on the go. We got you covered. What happens here matters here. Subscribe to our e-edition today at www.monvalleyindependent.com. The Mon Valley Independent, your local Mon Valley news source.
All right, we're back here at the Foster House. We're joined by Girls Breakthrough Player of the Year, Lindsay Stieber from Bell Vernon. Linz, congratulations.
Thank you.
First off, coming into this season, I mean, you played a little bit last year, but this year you knew you were going to have to step up, be a leader for this young team. What was that like, trying to get you out of your comfort zone? I know Coach Drennan stressed that you needed to communicate more and be the leader for the team. What was that process like for you?
Yeah, it was definitely, I was nervous at first because it's definitely a different role on the team that I had from last year, but, my coach definitely just forced me to communicate on and off the court, and I just tried to, build a good relationship with the girls, we're so close as friends, so it just went onto the court, and, I tried my best to lead by example, in practices, by working hard and just, showing the girls this is what we have to do, and it just came together.
It seems like you guys kind of exceeded the expectations this year. I know after losing 5 seniors last year, you're one of 2 seniors on this year's team. You had a lot of young girls, but to be able to make it into the playoffs, have the success that you guys had during the regular season, get some big wins at the end of the year, what was it like to be able to be a part of that and kind of exceed those expectations this year?
It was really special. We we knew we wanted to prove people wrong because we knew that's all people ever said is what are you going to do, now that you lost, those 5 seniors, and we knew we were young. We knew, we had to get better, with our skill and just everything. So I think it was a challenge, but we were all so pumped about it. So it was a lot of fun.
We talked about a little bit, there wasn't a lot of room last year and there wasn't too much playing time. What did you do to elevate your game? What are some of the things you worked on from last season heading into this season, knowing you're going to have to boost your scoring, you had to shoot better, attack the basket? What did you work on personally that you wanted to see the most?
Definitely offensive. I tried to improve my skills, ball handling, shooting, just being almost like a leader on offense, because I knew sometimes I had to make the big play whenever we needed to score, and having somewhat more experience than the other girls, I knew that I had to step into that. So I just made sure I was in the gym as much as possible.
How perfect a fit was bringing Coach Drennan on after Coach Fairman left? I mean, I know I talked to you for his award, that story. Just how perfect of a fit was it for the youth of the team, the youth and the enthusiasm that he brought, and to help you develop into the leader you became? Yeah,
I think it was perfect, and perfect timing, because we were kind of almost like a new team. Right. So it was perfect to bring a new person in, new outlook, new everything, and it changed everyone's outlook on the game, just all together, the entire team improved, his skill work, just it changed everyone. We were not that experienced, not that skilled to begin with, and his coaching and his emphasis on improving every day, it was just it just worked.
What did you learn from those 5 seniors last year, being able to have that experience and kind of have those veterans around you? What did you kind of learn from them that really kind of helped you coming into this season?
Yeah, I definitely learned kind of how to be a leader, because the 5 of them, they definitely they were outspoken, and when things needed to be said, they said it, and I learned they played together forever, so they had that connectivity out on the court, and I knew we needed that, we needed to be together, and so it's definitely just their leadership and how they were friends on and off the court. I think that's something that I definitely took into this year.
How good do you feel now? I mean, obviously you're a senior, you're graduating, but the hands of the program now under Coach Drennan and with this young group that you have, I mean, obviously Rachel's going to step into a role, probably the role that you filled this year. I mean, how comfortable do you feel now? I mean, I know the HML's everywhere now. It's the Hell Mighty Leopards. And how comfortable do you feel now leaving the program in the hands that you do?
So comfortable. I mean, the seniors coming up next year are so into it, so they're good leaders, they're just the whole team, just like how I said before, how together we were and how close we were, that's gonna, I hope that stays with them, and they're in good hands with Coach Drennan and the seniors next year, that they'll keep that going for sure.
One more game left in your career, the Round Ball Classic. Are you excited for that? I mean, what are kind of your feelings about? I know we kind of talked about it a little bit the other day, but what do you, to be able to get that opportunity and play with talented seniors from around the area.
It's exciting because I thought I was done, so it's nice to get out there one more time, and obviously to play with such great talent that in the area is it's such a good opportunity, and I'm honored to be a part of it.
All right. Well, Lindsay, thanks for coming down. I know you didn't have a very far trip from literally across the street for the softball game, but we appreciate you coming down, and congratulations.
Thank you so much.
We'll be right back with our Defensive Player of the Year, Emma Elash from McKeesport High School.
The Mon Valley e-edition has arrived. Download the new MVI newspaper app today from your device's app store. Stay connected with your hometown news, at home or on the go. We got you covered. What happens here matters here. Subscribe to our e-edition today at www.monvalleyindependent.com. The Mon Valley Independent, your local Mon Valley news source.
And we are back here from Foster House 2, MVI Live Super 6 show. We are here with McKeesport's Emma Elash, our Defensive Player of the Year. Emma, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Get closer.
First off, obviously a really great season for you guys, after missing out on the playoffs last year. You get to the WPIAL playoffs, you get to the state playoffs. What was it like to be able to, change, what happened last year, completely forget about it, and then to be able to have the success that you guys had this season?
It was great being able to turn things around, and I think we had a great season. We worked hard. I think we all played really well overall.
One of the things we talk about, and if you look at our award winners, 4 of the 6 are from your section. And obviously being the Defensive Player of the Year, you had a tough assignment every night in this section. What was it like playing against some of the competition you played against this year?
It was definitely tough. There's so many good girls in our section, but I don't know. It's just defense has always been my better side of the game, so I enjoyed it a lot too.
Does it motivate you that coach is going to come to you and say, Emma, you're on Lindsay Stieber, or you're on Bree Sparnak, or does it motivate you to know you're going against a team's top player every time?
Yeah, for sure. When you know that you have a task and that's your job to shut that player down, I think that definitely motivates me.
How much does Coach Smith, kind of harp for you to play solid defense, in practice and things like that? Obviously that's a big key for you guys, but how much has he really kind of, impacted what you guys have been able to do defensively?
We practice defense every single day at practice. That's the majority of what we do, honestly. So, they really stress defense the whole practice, honestly. So.
What was it like being kind of the leader on this team? You guys have a lot of young players. I know Nevaeh was one who just came up this year and provided a big spark for you guys. But, people would turn to you because you're the senior on the floor most of the time. What was it like just being the leader of that group and trying to keep, the young girls, calm, collected, and watch them do what they do while you're trying to do what you do on the floor?
We're all, really close, our team. So, it's always just trying to keep them all up, keep them all in the game, everyone positive mindset. It's really it. I just try to keep them kind of energetic throughout the game.
I mentioned some of the players you played against, but this year, what game would you say really stood out for you as the game where you felt you performed the best on defense against maybe a certain player or a certain team? Which game really stands out for you?
I think it would have to be our last game against North Catholic.
Right.
Because they have so many good girls on that team, and they're just a good team overall, and it was really difficult to hold a lot of those players to. And
I know you did. I know, Coach, when I asked for nominations, he pointed out some of the players. I think, Bella Long from Penn Trafford, I think you held her 4 points. She averaged 22.
Yeah.
Is there anything specific you try to do when you're playing matched up against somebody, to really get you to lock them down?
Well, I actually watch a lot of film, so if I could find anything like on Huddle, then that helps a lot too. But I just try to play tight, know their game. Like if they're a shooter, be up close to them, run them off the line, try to make them drive, stuff like that.
I know Jeremy kind of mentioned it to Thomas, having pride in coming from a key sport and playing for the program. So many great players have come from the girls basketball program, but I mean, what's it like to be able to know that you played for such a historic program and played for the Tigers?
I mean, it was a great experience overall. Yeah, I think we have a lot of fun together, and all the coaches are great. They spend a lot of their time there for us, and I really appreciate everything they've done and the experience I got out of it for sure.
All right. Well, we appreciate you making the trip all the way down here to take the award and take a couple of minutes with us. Congratulations, and good luck moving on, and good luck in softball season.
Thank you.
All right. We'll be right back with our Coach of the Year, Bell Vernon area's Ronnie Drennan.
Elect John Lorenzo for Commissioner of Ross Draver Township. John has decided to run for Ross Draver Township Commissioner because he loves the community and is passionate about the township. John will represent the residents of Ross Draver Township with respect, accountability, integrity, and confidence. John Lorenzo, a voice for the people.
Okay, we're back live at the Foster House. Joining us now is Bell Vernon area's girls coach, Ronnie Drennan. Coach, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
One of the things I got to ask you first before we get into this season and stuff, what made you decide the time was right? You left as an assistant for the boys' job, but this job opened up, and you said the time was right and you wanted to make the jump to the girls' game.
Yeah, I was very fortunate to coach the boys for the last 5 years. I learned a lot, and I think through that process and that learning experience, that I thought it was ready to move on. And when the job opened up for the Bell Vernon girls position, knowing some of the girls, training some of the girls, I said to myself, this is a perfect fit, teaching in the district, and I wanted to stick with the coaching aspect of it, and I couldn't be more pleased, with everything that happened, and I couldn't thank the administration, Matt Humbert, for giving me this opportunity. From day one, it was an all-in process, and I'm just so excited to continue this.
Being able to see the girls buy in to what you were preaching throughout the season, and to be able to have the success that you guys had, what was it like to be able to see that as the year went on, that they were completely in on what you were trying to tell them?
Yeah, I think that's huge for a coach to, especially as a first-year coach, is getting the girls to really believe in what you're selling. And trust you. I think those are the two most important things, is the belief and the trust. It wasn't easy. I don't think any coach would tell you that was easy. I think I learned a lot about the girls. I learned about myself, and I think vice versa. But it was an easy transition because I was familiar with the girls. But I tell everybody this. I was blessed with some really awesome individuals. Very respectful, very hardworking girls, and that really made my job a lot easier. So the buy-in was, hey, come in with some enthusiasm, show them that you care, and it wasn't fake; it was all sincere. And I think that's really helped us. Our success is the buy-in from an early standpoint of, hey, here's what we're going to do, here's how we're going to do it. And when we start to see results, I think that's when it becomes magic. And I think, we're in a good position right now.
I'm going to read a couple quotes here from, obviously we did a story when you got the award. I just want to get your reaction, and how's it make you feel
to hear some of these things from your players. Lindsey Stieber says a big reason for our team's success this season was our team's togetherness. That came from him pushing us to communicate with one another every time we were on the floor. She goes on to say from day one he worked to get us to have a positive, confident mindset. He made us set goals for ourselves and the team. And then Rachel Roback added that no one expected you guys to come out like you guys were this year, and that you were the main reason that you guys were able to prove everyone wrong.
Yeah, I'm definitely not the main reason. This award goes to all them. Hey, they're the ones who went out and put their blood, sweat, and tears on the line every night. My job was just to encourage them and hold them accountable. And I think that accountability aspect too was hard at times. But I definitely think that made them, better players, better people, and better teammates. So to hear those words, it definitely means a lot, and I'm very appreciative of it. And I think that just goes to show kind of what's going on in our program. And we can't give away all the secrets,
right?
But it's been a true blessing to be a part of this.
The future is very bright for you guys. I mean, obviously you had so many young girls step up this year. Only had 2 seniors that are graduating, and then you have a lot of talent coming up from the 8th grade level.
Yeah.
As a first-year coach coming into this program and knowing that, there's so much to look forward to. I mean, how does that make you feel?
Yeah, again, we could have talent coming up, but if we're not going to put in the time, the commitment, and really work on ourselves to be better, well then, that talent could be wasted. So, again, we've already had discussions with them. We're excited to get them in the gym and work hard. And, again, I got a lot of really good 9th graders too who got better this year. And I think, what I'm really looking forward to next year is how competitive our practices are going to be. And I think that's going to bring the best out of us. So, yeah, the future's bright, but we got to continue to work really hard and stay committed.
You mentioned the future, and one of the things I noticed personally is, you're so active even with the 1st through 3rd grade,
Yeah.
with, you coach Kenzie and the Little Leopards program.
Yeah.
How important is it when you're trying to build a program, you're trying to sustain as a coach, that you start, you get to these kids when they're so little,
right,
teach them how to love the game, love themselves, build their confidence.
Yeah, and honestly, I learned that from Kyle DeGregorio. That's the one thing that we did when we got into the boys program is we jumped right down into the youth. And, that's one thing that I wanted to continue on the girls' side. And, if you could get 2 or 3 out of each grade to get them to stay committed to it and love the game of basketball, then I think you're in a good position for the future. And that's one thing that I'm going to continue to do throughout these years.
How did you manage, I'm Rachel, in the quote I read you kind of mentioned a little bit, but nobody really knew what to expect from a team with 5 seniors lost. They're coming in with a new coach. How did you kind of manage not just your expectations, but their expectations going into this year?
Honestly, I think we were just very honest and truthful with each other. I mean, losing those 5 seniors, definitely, was detrimental, and not knowing exactly what we were going to get from these girls. But again, with Lindsay's leadership, Kyla's leadership, getting the girls together as much as possible, and building that camaraderie and that togetherness, I think has really helped the success and really fastened the success. So, we said this from day one, is if we can get better each day and use every day as an opportunity to really get better, then we can achieve anything that we really want to. And we definitely achieved a lot this year. And it's not so much about wins and losses to me. It was just about the true success of each individual, being positive, being encouraging, and having fun doing it all.
I know we mentioned it to Lindsay, we mentioned it to Emma. I'm sure we're going to mention it to Bree as well, who's our next guest. But the section that you guys played in, talent, up and down. But how did playing against those tough teams like Elizabeth Forward and McKeesport, Southmoreland, even Mount Pleasant, some of those teams really help this young group kind of understand, what they have to do night and night?
Yeah. Looking back, and even throughout the year, we definitely had one of the toughest 4A sections, in my mind, going against, a Division I athlete in Bree Spearnick, who's obviously very, very hard to prep for. She could do a little bit of everything, and credit to her and her ability to do that. McKeesport, they gave us fits this year, and again, love what they do down there. And then same with Southmoreland with their height. So for me as a first year head coach, this was perfect for me to really break down some film and learn how to prep properly for each game. And for those girls, I probably over prepared it many of times and put a lot too much on them. But I love that aspect of the game. My girls know that. I'm prepped and planned for every practice. I have a practice plan, time by time, every practice. So I think it was great for them to experience that moving forward.
All right. Well, I think we're good. Coach, thanks for coming down. I appreciate it.
Yes.
And congratulations on the award. It's well deserved, and we look forward to next season.
Yes. Thank you guys very much for having me.
All right. Congratulations.
Thank you.
We'll be right back with our Girls Player of the Year, Bree Spurnack from Elizabeth Forward.
And we are back here from Foster House 2, our Super 6 All-Star Show. We are here with Elizabeth Forward's Bree Spurnack, our Girls Player of the Year, three-time Girls Player of the Year.
3 times in a row.
Bree Spurnack. Bree, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Obviously, you guys accomplished so much this season. First section title since 2015. You made it to the WPIAL playoffs. You made it into the state playoffs. To be able to do this in your senior year, how special was it for you, and to be able to do it with the senior group that you've been playing with for so long?
It was very special. We had goals going into this season and goals that we had from freshman year, and we always wanted to go further each year, and we went the furthest we've ever went, and I think that's a big accomplishment because it was just section was a big thing to us, and it was just like a dream come true for us.
Right. How do you manage? I know you're a volleyball player, obviously a basketball player. You're a D1 athlete going to Pitt for track. How do you just manage to not have your body break down? To manage your schedules. I know you probably train a little bit for everything, all season long, all year long. What's it like just managing your schedule every day?
It's a lot of help from my parents and help from my friends, everyone telling each other times. Like, I'm usually not the most well-organized person, but I'm always there and I get the things done. And just managing throughout the seasons, I do get injured sometimes, or quite a lot.
Right.
And just working with my trainers and doing physical therapy and just doing all the little smaller maintenance things really just got me to keep pushing through. And sports are just what keep my life going, and I think that's why I do it every day.
How hard was it to choose between what you wanted to do in college? I know you had Division I offers to play basketball. You had Division I offers for track. You had Division I offers to do both. What helped you narrow it down that you wanted to throw javelin at Pitt?
I think it was just following my heart. I also wanted to play basketball. It was always in my head. My mom always wanted me to play basketball in college, but it just came down to what I wanted to do, and my mom supported me the whole entire decision, and this is what I had to think in my head what was going to fit best for me.
I know the last couple regular season games you didn't play because of an ankle injury, but going into the playoffs, you had 21 points against Knox, 23 against Quaker Valley, and then 18 against North Catholic, had 2 double-doubles. How challenging was it to kind of battle through that and still be able to perform as well as you did?
It was just mental. I had to go in thinking, don't think about the injury, just play for your team and
just taking those few games off really helped me, because if I would have been playing like I did play in the Bell Vernon game, I felt like I was bringing my team down, but I still wanted to be there for my team no matter what. And just going into those games, I just thought could be the last games I ever play, so I just had that in my mind.
Gotcha. How much does it help you on the basketball court when every practice, Coach Gibbs laces them up?
Yeah.
The coaches are out there running up and down the floor with you, and they're giving you more visual of what to do. I mean, how much does that help that you have coaches that are so enthusiastic about coaching your team every day, day in, day out? And I know, you became one of Coach Gibbs's kids, the whole team. I mean, just how much does that help when you have coaches so enthusiastic to come to work every day?
I think it's just given us so much trust in our coaches, and we could trust in them for anything. We go to them about, specific things in our lives. We could tell them anything. And just being able to play one-on-one against them, having my coach play against me and I play against him or her, depending on who's playing. But it just makes us all so close, and I think it just made us all family, and we believed in each other. And
how important was it to you to get this section title this year? I mean, I know you came close the last 2 years, and it always comes down to that Bell Vernon game.
Yeah.
And you like the senior night game, you got hurt, but you wanted to go back in. But in the end, you're still the section champions. How much does that mean to you going out your senior year?
It means everything, because that was our first goal of this season, and we achieved it. And our coach said, if you don't do this, you're not going to get to any of our other goals. And we had to take it one game at a time and just play as a team.
One of the personal achievements that you had this year was scoring your 1,000th point early in the year at McKeesport. How important was it for you to kind of, get that out of the way early and not really have to worry about,
That game was really nerve-wracking, because it was just is she going to make her 1,000 point this game? And I was just I just had to break it down, just play the game. I had to stop thinking about just scoring, and I just had to play the game. That's what it mostly came down to. And once I did make my 1,000 points, I felt like I don't have any other reason to just think about anything else and just play the game.
And in that game too, I know early on, I think maybe at halftime you only had 6 points or so, and then the second half you really took off, and it seems like that was kind of a trend as the season went on. I know Coach Gibbs said you're a second half kid, fourth quarter kid. What is it about that? I mean, is there anything in particular just late in the game you really step up?
I think it's just sometimes teams let up. They'll be oh, she's not doing this game, and I'll just have to step up my game. And my coach will always talk to me. They'll be you need to step it up, or you need to be more assertive and play your game, know how you can play. I'm just yeah, and then I realize and then I kind of switch into a different mode, and I'm just oh, I got to start picking it up a little bit.
How much have you developed? I know one of the things Coach really wanted you to work on your outside shot more towards last year and into this year. I mean, how would you guard you? I mean, early on in your career, you were, getting the rebounds, getting the putbacks, scoring on layups. But now you go inside, outside. You're a tough matchup for anybody. And I think that's what really helped boost your scoring this year is, teams can't double you down low because you're going to go step outside that three-point line and knock down shots. So how would Bree Spurnack stop Bree Spurnack?
I think I'd try to get in Bree Spurnack's head and do some things to make her a little bit mad, because I think people can get in my head at times, but then I usually just try to block them out, and I usually just try to play my game and stay true to who I am. But honestly, probably let me shoot the outside at the beginning, because that's usually whenever I couldn't shoot. It's usually more towards the end.
Your mom's laughing out there.
Yeah.
she's
Hi,
laughing.
Mom.
Just looking back from your freshman year when you came in to now, obviously your season's over, basketball at EF's done. What's been the best part, over those last 4 years?
I think just spending it with the people I started playing basketball with. We started, the 5 of the 6 seniors we started since we were in 3rd grade playing together. So just building that bond and seeing how far we could go together, and never giving up on each other, and always, if someone was down, picking them up. And then just getting new people every year and becoming friends with them, and just doing things with them. It was really great, because you make new friends and everyone becomes like your sisters when you play on a team.
Now it's time for track. What are kind of the expectations for track and field season?
I'm going to try to do big things, hopefully.
State gold, right?
State gold.
Hopefully.
That's what you need.
We'll-
That's the only thing missing on the shelf,
First
right?
scrimmage, we'll start off with that, and then we'll see where it goes from there. But I just want to try to do the best that I can do.
All right. Well, Bree, congratulations
Thank you.
again for 3 times. I don't know who we're going to pick next year.
I don't know.
We don't have her to pick anymore. But congratulations. Thanks for coming down. Thanks for
you.
bringing the family down. And we're going to miss covering you over the next how many years? I mean, but we'll keep paying attention.
We still got track.
We still got track.
We'll still be around.
Congratulations, and thanks for everything, being helpful with us too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back with our Super 6 girls all-star team.
She almost started crying.
Elect John Lorenzo for Commissioner of Ross Draver Township. John has decided to run for Ross Draver Township Commissioner because he loves the community and is passionate about the township. John will represent the residents of Ross Draver Township with respect, accountability, integrity, and confidence. John Lorenzo, a voice for the people.
All right, we're back live from the Foster House in Belle Vernon, PA. Jose, it's time to watch who our top 6 girls all-stars are this year.
Yeah, producer Chad Corrado, shout out to him. Behind the scenes, put together this little slideshow just like we showed for the boys all-stars. And
shout out to the sports editor who spent 2.5 hours rounding up the pictures.
Yeah, you did that. That's what you did.
That
I
was
watched
fun.
you.
That was fun.
He did that. So, we'll take a look at our Super 6, and then we'll take a look at our girls' best of the rest.
Sounds good. All right, we're back. There they are, our girls Super 6. And I said it a couple of times tonight, Jose, 4 out of the 6 are all from that rugged class, Section 3 and 4A.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, that's 3 of the 4 playoff teams from that section were our local squads, aside from Southmoreland. And obviously Bree Spurnak's on here, 19.4 points per game. I think she was ranked in the top 15 in the WPIAL in scoring. And Brooke Poling from Fraser,
right,
and her teammates Sierra Twig both averaged over 16. I think Brooke was a little under 20.
Yep.
She
took a step back. She's still averaging 20 points a game.
That's saying something if she took a step back.
Another repeat.
But then, of course, like you mentioned, the other girls from Section 3, 4A, Jyla Bray, and then Lindsay Stever and Rachel Wobrak.
There may not have been a more fun player to watch than Jyla Bray.
Yeah, I mean, she did everything the right way. really. I mean, she led that team. Her and Nevaeh Stepanek both kind of led the way, and obviously, Emma Elash, our defensive player of the year, and they were huge reasons why they were able to turn things around this year. So, yeah, she's definitely one of the more exciting players to watch, and the Bell Vernon girls too. Here, we talked a little bit about obviously Lindsay, our breakthrough player of the year, and then Rachel really stepped up in some big situations, had some big buckets, and was very, very good for Coach Drennan's to watch.
The thing I noticed, I'm going to talk about Robrack real quick. If she's open for a three, she's going to knock it down.
Yeah.
But the thing with her that I really noticed is the transition she made as a mental player. I mean, she would full of frustration all the time the last couple years, but Coach Drennan really got to her. Talked about becoming not just a better player but a better person.
Yeah.
She really controlled her frustrations and her emotions on the court, and it's really helped her develop into a great player.
Right.
She averaged just about over 12 points a game, and she was a big secondary scorer for Stever.
Right, and that's another player who didn't really get a lot of playing time last year because of those 5 seniors. So, it's a credit to her, and her ability that she was able to come into the starting lineup right away and have such an impact.
Right. All right, well, that's our top 6, our Super 6. So we're just going to go right into the girls' Super 6 best of the rest. Again, no arguments here. I'm surprised, but we're going to take a look at those, and we'll come back and break a couple of them down. Live at the Foster House. Jose, there's our girls' best of the rest, and we're going to I'm going to take a quick look at some that really stand out to me. Let's talk about the Sarah Catholic girls. Gigi Mealy-Madigan, Raina Andrews, and Nicole Pulaski all averaged 9 points a game for the balanced offensive attack of Bill Cleary. But Gigi Mealy-Madigan, obviously the senior leader, point guard on the team. Then Raina Andrews, record-breaking 26 rebound game this year to break the school's record. And Pulaski, just a pure shooter. Coach Cleary said if she hits that first one, keep giving her the ball.
Right.
And the other player I want to mention is Grace Henderson from Bell Vernon, obviously 6'2", 6'3". Still obviously will grow into her height a little bit, but the way she developed this year for Coach Drennan's team, late in the year, big baskets. But I think the most important contribution she made was defensively, playing against Bree Spurnack and playing against Maggie Moore of Southmoreland. She just really stepped up when they needed her the most.
Right, and then, we mentioned it again, more from that section. You got Nevaeh Stepanek from McKeesport, just improved as the year went on as a freshman. I know Coach Smith has been really happy with how she's kind of developed as the year has gone on. And then two Elizabeth Forward girls, Julia Jenkins, another senior who, I know she came up really big in the North Catholic game, struggled in the first few playoff games, but made a really big 3 in that North Catholic game, and then I think got that confidence to continue scoring. And then Bailey Brinson, another freshman who stepped up for the Warriors and was another compliment scoring wise to Bree Spurnack. And then Bella Scoble from Charleroi. I know Charleroi had a tough year, obviously losing key seniors just like Belle Vernon did. But Bella, has gotten some experience. I kind of, in a sense, maybe comparable to Lindsay Stieber's situation in a sense. I know that they had a little more struggles, but she really was the heart and soul of that team and came up big in situations. I think led them in scoring most of the games that they had this season. So nice to see her on this list as well.
And you mentioned Jenkins and another one, Ashley Moger from Fraser. Probably those two, Jenkins and Moger, probably two of the best shooters that we have on either one of these lists.
Right.
They step up big. Moger was big in Fraser's playoff game against Winchester Thurston. They didn't win that game, but when Brooke Poland got shut down a little bit, Moger hit a couple really big shots for them. So I think overall solid list. I'm pleased with it. Obviously you're pleased with it. If not, I trump you. So
I think we're good.
But that wraps up the Super 6, but we do have one more special award that we
do
handed out. I don't know if it was delivered yet or not.
Might be a little bit of a delay on the delivery, maybe tomorrow, but
probably
it's still on the way.
A well-deserved award.
Absolutely.
We developed this year, and we'll probably make it an annual thing, but we're not sure. It depends on the circumstances. But we have the Heart and Soul Award that we arranged this year. None other than my man Charlie Osborne from Sarah Catholic. I've seen him the last couple games. Really is the heart and soul of Sarah Catholic. I read a story early this year about Charlie and his relationship with Jimmy Moon. So it's an honor for us to give that award to him. So,
and I know it was special for you to be able to write this as well. I mean, why in particular was this did this hit home a little bit for you?
Because doing the story on their relationship, one of the things that struck me most was Jimmy went to the University of Pittsburgh to watch Charlie's Special Olympics games, and I have a brother that has Down syndrome, my little brother Roger. So I get that relationship and how important it is for, kids with Down syndrome to, be included and all about inclusion. I watched my mom for years fight for inclusion for my brother, and sports is probably the best way to do it.
Absolutely.
I coached a team of Special Olympians at Pitt and state games at Penn State, so it really hit home to me to be able to tell that story of the relationship that he has, not with Jimmy, but his twin brothers on the team, and the relationship they have, just the Eagles and him together, and how Coach Walder gave him important jobs, and he held him accountable. He wasn't at practice yesterday, and Coach wasn't very happy about that.
And I know during the season, even before he was, named student manager, he'd be in the stands cheering, he'd be banging on the bleachers, and I know in particular after the Sarah Catholic's Whippeal title loss, you asked him, you said, still a lot more games to go, right? And Charlie replied, said, a lot more games to win.
That's right.
And I know a lot of the guys were down after that game, but Charlie still had a smile on his face, still had confidence in his friends and his brothers, and really cool to be able to see this. And I'm glad to see people get to see this relationship between him and the Eagles.
And I'm sure, I mean, we talked earlier, Sarah Catholic season obviously came to an end today, but I'm sure the first person to high five everybody was Charlie coming off the court at Slippery Rock. So, and that's important for, he brings them a lift just like he does, they do for him. So I think it was an important story to tell. And I think that, the team, the Eagles, all would agree that he deserves this award.
Absolutely, yeah, and I'm glad that people can be able to see what Charlie has meant to this group of young men, and kudos to you for being able to write his story.
Yeah, the story went viral a little bit.
Yeah.
And got some media coverage around here with some of the Pittsburgh news stations. And
I think Charlie and Jimmy, and they deserve to be recognized for the friendship that they have, and for Jimmy for being able to be the type of kid that he is.
Right.
You mentioned that he's the the big man on campus. This is a kid who's one of the Whitbeall's top scorers. He's heading to Seton Hill to play basketball, and for him to be able to just be the type of role model that he is pretty special.
And like I said, it means a ton, not just, I talked to Jimmy's parents and I talked to Charlie's parents, obviously. It means so much to Jimmy and his parents and his family. For people to have that program they have with St. Anthony's there, that he gets to be at Sarah Catholic with those guys. His mom talked a little bit about how outspoken and outgoing he is, but at Sarah Catholic, she has no worries. Right. So, it meant a lot to me, like you said, personally, and I'm glad I got to tell the story. And we had Mike Darnay took great photos between their interactions, so it was a great story to tell. I'm honored to have been able to do it and bring some recognition to what's going on between Sarah Catholic and Charlie and his family.
Absolutely.
So I think we're going to come back and we'll go to commercial and come back and just put a bow on this thing and wrap it up.
Yep, absolutely.
Basketball season's almost over.
Almost.
We still got one more team, though. The Greyhounds are still alive. So we'll come right back and we'll wrap this thing up. Time to put a wrap on this thing. We are joined by award-winning photographer Jen Cottalupi. Give her a shout out. We just had a nice commercial for her business.
Snapshot 47.
That's right.
It's
Seniors,
like
call
prestige
me.
worldwide.
Worldwide.
Snapshot 47.
Wide.
But just giving my final thoughts. Let's put a wrap on the season. The highlights for me were just the talent that we have here around here. You got Devin Whitlock coming in at Monessen. Coaches moved around. Coach Bosnick at Monessen, and Coach Salvino's at Bell Vernon, and they went head to head, and Coach Salvino won. Towards the end, just watching how his team grew is one of my highlights. The development of Coach Drennan and his team. Like I said, I'm personally connected because I watch what he does with Kenzie and my daughter, and kids her age. So. That's really the highlights for me. A 3-time player of the year, a 2-time player of the year, capping off their careers. We had long runs into the state playoffs. We couldn't. It makes our job easier when we have stuff to write about this time of year.
Absolutely. It's always nice to go to the Pete. Always nice to cover teams when they go to the Whitfield Championship game. I know it wasn't the result that the Eagles wanted, but obviously us being able to go there in full force, us three and Ben being able to go and cover them, that was huge. Had a couple 1,000-point scorers this year. That's always special to be able to see these kids accomplish something that they've worked their entire careers for. And even these come from behind wins. I think that's something that I really like to see. We saw at Bell Vernon and Monessen earlier in the year, like you mentioned, come from behind win for the Leopards, and then the Greyhounds did it last night. Me and Jen were there last night, and
on a big stage.
They trailed for a little more than 31 minutes of that 32-minute game. And, it was incredible to be able to see that and to see the support. Monessen always travels very, very well. And, the Greyhounds had a lot of support in the crowd. So just being able to see that, I've talked about it before that, before I began here at the Mon Valley Independent, I didn't really know about the Mon Valley sports scene, and in the last 3 years or so, I've been able to see that, and sports are huge in this area.
You've become part of.
I've become part of the Mon Valley, and it's just great to see the tradition and to see what you guys have been able to see all these years.
Right.
It's amazing, and it's great to see that it's not a private school going in this deep into the PIAA. Sorry, I went there.
Well, talking about the whole private school issue, and I mean, I know it's a topic everywhere, but we see another end of it now, the Sarah Catholic end, and that's something, that kind of, you pay attention to it a little bit more and just see what they've done, a team with 6 seniors, and they go far, and they're going up against other private schools, and, even they get handed to a couple times, but, just I think, like I mentioned, the amount of competition we've had, the rivalries are back. Ringgold's back playing Bell Vernon. McKee Sports in with our local team. So, it makes our jobs easier as we tie our major communities together that we cover.
Right.
And it's the same way for baseball, softball season. I think that's the most important thing is we have an outlet for the athletes to get recognition. And even things like Cal U. They're starting the NCAA tournament this weekend. That's something that's always a constant for us, and we have a local girl, Abby Sporio from Elizabeth Ford, who, was there when Coach Gibbs took over, and Coach Gibbs coached her, and, seeing that they still have a relationship,
Yeah,
she
uses that hashtag, Scoria. My favorite hashtag on Twitter.
But just the amount of games we've been able to cover, great games that we've been able to see, great teams, great players. And again, the coaches have been so supportive of us. The players, they're seeing us out there. We're talking to them more. And I think just giving them a stage, letting us come into their lives and them come into ours, I think has just been great.
Absolutely. We got any questions? I think we had a couple questions.
We had a couple from the audience earlier. Somebody wanted to know, Jeremy, what's the latest color of shoes that you bought?
Ooh, we can't see them. I'm wearing one. I'm wearing just a plain black and white right now, but
neon
we
yellow?
got some neon yellow that our colleague over there said some not so nice things about. But clown shoes, bro.
Yeah.
It's all about the clown shoes. Check them out when we're on scene at softball and baseball games this year.
Stop and see Karen from Sheets, too.
Yes, make sure Karen from Sheets, our MTO producer. One of the other things I want to mention, I forget what it is, so if I think of it, I'll let you know. But go ahead.
Any other questions?
Yeah, another question was, we want to know how soon before you can pull your hair up into the man bun.
I think it's going to be a while.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or
I don't think it's happening.
Let me go to the technical advisor over there. Is he allowed to do the man bun? Thank you. Because I was going to say no.
That's a big no.
That's a big negative.
I don't think I want a man bun.
All right. Do either of you have a favorite sport to cover?
If it wasn't so cold, I really love covering the Ringgold hockey games. But it's so cold. Brutally cold.
I have found a new love in photographing hockey.
It's not a secret anymore.
Yeah, I really enjoy it.
Maybe some award-winning photographs will come out of that game.
Maybe.
Personally, I'm a basketball guy. I like coaching basketball. It's indoors.
Yeah.
We're going to go coach, cover softball and baseball here soon, and it's probably going to be 45 degrees and raining. Not happy about that.
Right.
But let's hope for the weather, and let's hope for good weather.
I think we.
We're going to
move on to our thank yous.
Are there any other comments we need to make here?
No, just a shout out to Ringgold Hockey. Did you say that earlier?
They are playing for the PIHL Division II Championship on Monday at 6:00 up at the Lemieux Complex in Cranberry. Check it out. We'll be there. I'm sure somebody will be there. Maybe photographer extraordinaire Jen Cottalupi might be there. It's a 6:00 game. No excuses. Get out there. Support those kids who are from everywhere.
Yeah.
York, California, Charlotte.
They're the definition of Valley Pride.
Right. Yeah.
We kind of talked about that a little bit. I mean, it's
true Valley Pride there.
Yeah. Go get them, Ringgold.
Yeah, we're behind you. for sure. The first thank you we got to give is obviously to B Graphics. Every time we do something like this, they're always there. Obviously, they're sponsoring the table today, but they support us. All these kids that are on the Super 6, send me your shirt sizes via Twitter at MVI Sports, so we can get the T-shirts ordered. The Super 6 will have gold T-shirts, a little pit script color theme, blue and white on the gold shirt. The other shirts are red at your request.
Oh, yeah.
So DM us your shirt sizes so we can get them ordered as soon as possible. They're always so supportive of us, though. I know we go in. Chris from B Graphics is here now, but
shout out to Chris.
They give us whatever we need, and it's they donate to our local athletes, as much as we donate the time and stuff to write our stories. They donate just as much in T-shirts, plaques. All the plaques we showed today are free, donated by B Graphics to these kids. So, and it's something they can hold on to really remember this.
Yep.
We got to thank everybody at the MVI, Team MVI, especially Dave Silva hooking us up. Commercials, graphics, everything we need. And our photographers, award-winning photographer Jen Cottalupi, Mike Darnay, Ben Banford, and Bob Smith. I mean, our photographers are top-notch. There's no doubt.
We covered a lot of games.
We did, and they were always they're very rare, and one of the awesome things is seeing the development of little Benny, our boy wonder. Yeah, he's turned into a hell of a photographer. He'll be at Point Park next year, but he'll still be with us. So it's going to be great.
Remember
he does a great job.
He's going to be a great photographer.
He is very good. All our freelance writers. Jeremy Tepper is now on board. He actually covered the Sarah Catholic game tonight, so we got to thank him for that.
Shout out to Dan Palm for all the wrestling coverage that he's provided. Shane Lawrence just won a state title.
Right.
We got to mention him from Frazier. So shout out to Thane and shout out to Dan Palm.
There may be another pop-up show to release our Mat Warriors All-Star Wrestling All-Star team. We're compiling that now.
Yep.
And we have a couple awards to give there, so that'll be fun.
And you guys, don't forget you guys. I mean, if somebody's covering a game, somebody has to be back at the.
Not all the time. Sometimes we do both. So.
And then we have our great editors, Stacy and Carl, that are always in the background that nobody ever sees, that putting pages together. So the whole team.
It's Team MVI, man. That's what we are. We are the A team.
We are truly amazing.
We are the A team. No one does it better. There's just no hashtag no one does it better. So that's it. I mean, basketball season for us is pretty much wrapped up. We're going to still follow those Greyhounds, though.
Yep.
Tough game against Nazareth Prep on Friday at 6 o'clock at Keystone Oaks. We know the 15062 will be there in full effect. One of us be there, maybe Jeremy Tepper. We're not sure yet. We're going to work that out.
And be sure to check out the Mon Valley Independent for baseball, softball previews coming up.
Those are coming up.
Starting. Our photographers have been out of practices. I know I'm going to start hitting up practices here. Might be at a few tomorrow, possibly. So,
and one thing we do have to give a little shout out to the Trib Live. Bill Hartlip up there helps us out. They did a lot of our wrestling photos for us this year. They're always very cooperative with us. We share information, share stories, share writers, share photographers. So we can't do anything without them. It's a very good working relationship. So we have to thank them guys. And producer extraordinaire Chad Corrado for putting this together. It was one of those days, but guess what?
We did it.
The A team. We did it. We did it.
And a last shout out, thanks to the Foster House too.
Yeah, thank you to the Foster House. I'm about to enjoy a king cat before I go home and parent, not babysit, parent.
While I go back and finish our newspaper.
Right. I did half of it for you.
You did.
It's good.
You did a good job.
Thank you guys for all the support all year. We appreciate it. We're about almost. We kept this one under 2 hours. So hey, that's a win.
By 6 minutes.
That's a win. So we're very excited to do this. So we can't wait. Got another shout out to award-winning photographer Jen Cottalupi from the paparazzi herself is on the chat again.
Awesome.
So we appreciate all the support, and that's it.
Yep.
That's it. Congratulations to all our Super 6 winners again. please DM us your shirt sizes as soon as possible. Get them shirts ordered, get those out, and I promise we're delivering the rest of the football shirts very, very soon. We've already started that. So, again, thank you all for tuning in, and we'll see you the next time.
See you next time.